Good evening, and welcome to the first weekend edition of the 2020 Economic Recession Survival and Preparation channel. I would like to thank you for joining me, and we've had quite the weekend on the Dow Jones and the stock market. It ended the week, of course, in the positive territory, reaching record highs, breaking the 28,000 mark for the first time this year. But let's start off with the good news. The good news, or alleged good news, according to the media, is that the job growth for the November payroll report shows a 266,000 increase in the number of jobs for November payroll increase, non-farm payrolls. The forecast was only for 180,000 jobs increase, and so this shows an increase in the non-farm payrolls job market. So that, and also the unemployment rate has ticked around 3.5 to 3.6%. So it's hovering around that. So that is a good news. Now let's get to the bad news about this scenario. The bad news scenario with the job reports is that the average hourly earnings has flattened for the month of November to 0.2%. So it's not growing at all. Wages and earnings have remained stagnant despite the new 266,000 jobs that were created in the month of November. And as always, my friends, we have to ask, what type of jobs are we talking about here? Are they jobs with benefits, pensions, part-time, Uber, Lyft, gig economy jobs? And that's mostly what I suspect these are. These are part-time, no benefits, temporary jobs, seasonal jobs. As you know, Amazon Prime has hired over 100,000 workers to help out during the busy holiday season. As many, you might have seen a lot of the blue trucks around in your neighborhood. Those are seasonal, temporary workers, and so that's why the numbers are partially inflated to this high number. And also, the bad news here is also related to an article in CNBC where U.S. cities report that robots are impacting the job growth the most. Once again, my friends, Jack Ma, as you know, he's the CEO of Alibaba, the Chinese eBay, or is that the Chinese version of Amazon, basically. He said that by 2030, 50 to 75% of jobs around the world will be replaced by robots and automation. And nobody is talking about that, okay? The use of robots in U.S. workplaces has more than doubled since the Great Recession, okay? But the impact has hit certain areas of the country more than others. According to a report by the Century Foundation, it found that Midwestern states, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and Wisconsin saw the sharpest growth in robots being used in the workplace from 2009 to 2017. And now those areas are being impacted even more. So we can look at the chart here and we can see nationwide there are about one robot for every 1,000 human workers. But of course that number varies widely depending on what part of the country you are in, okay? But just looking at the new data here, we can see that the metro areas that are utilizing the highest amount of robots, okay, the LA, San Diego area, the Washington, D.C., Maryland area, the Chicago, Illinois, Chicagoland area, the San Francisco area. These are areas that are utilizing robots to the extreme. So not only is the U.S. our workers, our hard workers, whether blue collar, white collar, farmers, etc., being hurt by immigration, no stagnant wages, we're also being impacted by robots, automation, taking over jobs that we used to have in these inner cities, in the suburbs, in the hinterlands, and in the farmlands of America. So while that 266,000 jobs may look good on paper, we really have to ask ourselves as we head into next week, the meetings with the Fed. By the way, today is the anniversary, December 7th of Pearl Harbor. So let's keep that in mind as well for all of those veterans and friends. We are heading into, regardless of the trade war, we are heading into a global economic slowdown, no doubt about it. Not only that, we could possibly be heading into, once the recession and depression really get going, we can actually be heading into a real World War III scenario, because not only is every global country in massive debt, every global country is facing a slowing payroll, a slowing jobs creation payroll, especially in the Eurozone, Germany, Italy, Turkey, Greece, in South America, Chile, Brazil, Argentina. These countries are on uprising. Hong Kong, you see the uprising in Hong Kong that's still going on. The violence, they're not satisfied. People are not satisfied with their earnings, the standard of living in other countries. And that's going to have a domino effect on our conditions here in the United States. It's only a matter of time. And things are starting to slow down now. Like I said, 2020 will be the transition year. And in 2021, the beginning of 2021, when whoever the new president is, or whoever takes the term, that next term is going to be absolutely a nightmare, rough nightmare. So the news, CNBC, MarketWatch, BBC, they're reporting it as saying that the economy is good, it's record, because, they don't need it. Now they're saying that according to some reports, Bloomberg and other companies, they're saying that we may not need a trade deal until later next year because the economy is going good, because we have this 266,000 jobs growth, November jobs growth report. We can call BS on that, because we know that China manufactures more than 50% of the United States goods and services, consumer goods, and we in fact need them and are dependent on them to keep buying to keep supplying us with their junk, to keep our economy propped up, as it's 2/3 of our economy is consumerism and not production. Okay, so the payroll data numbers can be manipulated. Remember that, my friends. Numbers do lie. I know you heard in school that statistics don't lie, and numbers can be manipulated through computer programs and algorithms, just like the stock market. Your stock market is manipulated through computer programs and algorithms, okay? Everything that you were taught in school, statistics, all numbers can be manipulated, okay? It just depends on who has control of the data. As a matter of fact, we saw that during the last election, okay? Many people were surprised that our president won, and those numbers can be manipulated, okay? As a matter of fact, the ADP payroll report only showed 67,000 private sector jobs are added in November, okay? So we've had all of these jobs added, supposedly in the public sector, only 67,000 private sector jobs are being added. Now, the GM workers have returned from strike, okay? Matter of fact, that GM worker strike they had in Flint, Michigan, that only lasted less than 3 weeks. Why do you think that is? Do you think that's because consumers, have all this savings saved up, a couple of 7 months of saving, 6 months of saving, like Dave Ramsey and all these gurus tell us? I don't think so. If they would have held out longer with the union, they wouldn't have been able to make their car payments, the mortgage payments, student loan payments, credit card payments, etc. That's why they had to return to work. It wasn't because the deal was so great. It was because it was necessity, survival. Okay? And that's what we preach on this channel. It's better to be prepared than to be unprepared. So as you look over your finances, your budget, in terms of economic survival for this next recession, let us remember to put aside some greenbacks while we still can, while they still hold their value, and get physical, tangible assets such as land, gold, silver, water, food, medicine, ammo, bow and arrows, whatever you use, guns, ammo, whatever you want to call it. And let us get prepared in that. And let us also cut back on things that we don't need anymore. You notice how they're remaking all these old movies, Disney movies that we saw as a child and everything, because they're running out of deals. They're running out of ideas. The party is almost over. The fat lady is about to sing. It's time for us to put aside that which is not profitable in our lives and in our family lives, and get ready to defend what we have from outsiders and from those who wish to bring down this country and to bring down our standard of living that we've worked so hard for here in America. So I just want to touch base with you this weekend to let you know that don't be fooled, that the numbers are going to look good because the Fed is propping up this economy. They're continuing to buy repo market. Repo operations are continuing. The Fed is also may consider another rate cut before the end of the year. I told you they had a meeting coming up December the 11th and December the 12th. We will see if they leave rates unchanged or cut. They might even cut it since growth is they might leave it unchanged since growth is supposedly growing now, the record-breaking highs. But don't be surprised if we see another rate cut by 25 basis points to end the year on a positive note, since Black Friday sales wasn't all that impressive online or offline. So thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Please take care and look out for one another, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.